This week on the Baseline Podcast, Josh and I break down our mock draft 2.0. Yes, we are back with another mock draft. Because of trades and because of free agency, we thought, hey, why not come back, reevaluate, move guys up, move guys down, decide what we're going to do, and talk to you about it. And then we talk about Major League Baseball. We talk about opening day. What are some things we've liked to see? What are some things that we didn't like seeing? And finally, is the MLB pitch clock really, really worth it? And then finally, we finish up by talking about the Final Four. Who is our pick to win it all? All that and so much more coming up on the Baseline Podcast. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Baseline Podcast. I'm Ben. That's Josh. And we are here. We are having fun. I mean, it's nice weather here. It's like 65. It's really nice weather right now. I don't know what it's like over there in good old Ohio.
We got nice temps, about 58, but cloudy and rain. So,
but there is something that made it a little happier for you. So if you were paying attention to our story and Josh's story on his Instagram page, Josh had an experience, we will say. And Josh, my only question, did Bustin' with the Boys, hey, by the way, fellas, if you're listening, please come on the podcast, but did this develop into a relationship that could build onto something, Josh? Or was this just merely you fanboying and wanting to be a picture with the guys? Just
man, I wish it could have, but I'll break down the whole experience. So yeah, Bustin' with the Boys was doing their spring tour, and one of their stops was Ohio State. So they will be dropping interviews. I believe they chatted with Brian Hartline, Ryan Day, Paris Johnson. I don't know if they had any current players, but Paris was there too at the live show that they did.
I saw that. Yeah.
I had gotten tickets for the meet and greet VIP beforehand. I don't know if it was just I walked in like 5 to 10 minutes late, or if they gave me like the wrong bracelet, whatever. But I was heading in, and they're like, nobody's allowed up to like 7:30. So I was just like, okay, well, they scanned my VIP, they put me the bracelet on, so they know I'm special. Maybe they just pushed the meet and greet back to 7:30. I go in with everybody at 7:30, and then I realize the meet and greet already happened. So I go up to the guy that's running the merch table, and I'm like, did I miss the meet and greet? And he told me, and I was just like, man, that sucks. I told him like the situation and stuff, and I ended up getting a free For the Boys hat out of it. And Taylor, to credit to Taylor and Will, for hanging out at the end too, and like taking pictures and chatting with everybody afterwards that didn't pay the extra money for the pass. So like I made more than my money back that I paid for the VIP by getting the hat. I ended up getting the chat, not as long as I would have if I would have been at the meet and greet, but I got like 2 minutes in with each of them. The picture, chatted with Paris for a little bit, picture with him as well. So it did not lead to any kind of networking or future podcast episodes, but it was still a heck of a time. Sure, but it was still a heck of a time nonetheless, man. Those dudes are awesome.
Yeah,
they are the boys.
It was fun to see Taylor Lewin just coming on to Ohio State campus, having to sit there, just breathe in the Ohio State air, and just
he's been putting on social media and stuff how impressed he's been with Columbus. Columbus was actually the only live show they've done so far out of they've been to Texas and South Carolina that sold out. So that was a surprise to both of them. He's a big fan of the city, but when he was going through Ohio State's campus, man, he was showing all the dates of like the Big Ten championships, and he's like, it's been a little while since they've gotten one. And then he pointed out too that they have all the logos of all the Big Ten teams, but for Michigan, it's just Teton. And he's like, they're scared of us, boys.
Jeez, yeah.
Will really leaned into the OHIO, and he probably 50 times throughout the night, whenever he was trying to like lead a diss onto Taylor, but then Taylor was like roasting him back, he would just yell OH, and that was like his fight for his life kind of thing.
Did Taylor ever beat Ohio State?
He beat them one. I think he said he beat them one time, but I don't remember.
I bet that was the Fickle year.
I think it was the Fickle year.
Okay,
he was drafted 2014, so it would have been his sophomore year.
Yeah, so
when Michigan was playing Luke Fickle and freshman Braxton Miller.
He can't say much when you're 1-3 against Ohio State. Just saying, or 1-2.
He did only get one win. Yeah,
I'm just saying. No, but that was a really cool experience. I actually didn't know this, so all of you found out at the same time. I was like, what? No, but it was great to see you, and hopefully one day Bustin' with the Boys. You know, if you want to come over to Europe, I'm just saying, Josh can hop on the plane with you, and we can just have like a little on Budapest on the Danube, have a little riverboat kind of like, podcast episode. I'm just saying.
Man, you
Just saying
remember
it
when
before
I
it
was
happens.
doing the posting photos of Will to get him on until he came on, dude, and I could never get like past 20 because I'd always
No,
forget at some
you'd always
point.
forget. Yeah, yeah.
There's social media guys on like day 289 with Rich Eisen right now until he comes on.
They all,
So
but as you said though, they have
mad
a guy. They
consistency.
have a
They
guy.
have a social
No, they
media
have a
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
They have
They
a
do have a
guy.
guy for that. Yeah. So he's
No.
earning his paycheck.
Yeah, but it's really cool to see what that was. And obviously it's been a crazy week in general of sports. But before we get into the sport talk, we do, Josh and I both want to give our thoughts and prayers to the families of the shooting that happened in Nashville. A very tough thing, especially as a teacher myself. It is always tough to see, and it's close to my heart what happened back in my hometown. But we do put our prayers and everything towards them. Again, if you're down in that area, see what you can do to help out. Just be there for people. It is a tough time. But moving on to some sports, Josh, it's been a lot of pro days have happened. A lot of pro days have happened. We've seen some quarterbacks do some things. We've seen your man Richardson decide just to throw a ball against the ceiling. I think that's impressive. But if you actually look at the ceiling of the Florida campus, it's literally not that high. So I think anyone probably could hit it. And Pat McAfee said, like, yeah, every punter's hitting that, right? Like, so I'm just saying, it's not that impressive. Just saying,
Yeah.
not that
I
impressive.
don't know why it blew up as much as it did, or like was turned into,
Because they love his
crazy.
athleticism, man.
Yeah.
They're loving it.
They gotta really lean into that because you can't lean into any of his football abilities. That the quarterbacking skills just ain't there. But if we're looking for
Yeah.
biggest freak athlete, there's not really too many
Yeah.
more guys other than Anthony that you're gonna find.
Would you say though,
combine
like,
winner.
so before we get into the actual mock draft, no, if we look at the four quarterbacks, right? Will Levis, Stroud, Young, and Richardson. To me, I think Levis did not impress as much as I think everyone wanted him to. At least that's my opinion after watching. Like, I think physique wise, he impressed. I think
He's been in the gym.
Yeah, but I think throwing wise, like I don't know. I've been watching a lot, hearing a lot of people. They don't seem as highly as they were maybe 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. What's your thoughts on Will Levis more than the other three?
Just looking even at past drafts, like you heard hype for Justin Fields at his pro day. Zach Wilson impressed at his pro day. Even this year, CJ Stroud impressive. Bryce Young, we know that the size wasn't really there, but you didn't hear anything negative about that. And Richardson, I mean, flashed the athleticism and threw a ball that hit a ceiling. So I guess impressive. And I haven't really heard a lot of buzz about Will Levis, So
Yeah.
I think you're right. I don't know if that means that he did things to, I guess, kill his draft stock, but you didn't hear anything that would, I guess, make you suggest maybe Will Levis will be the first quarterback off the board, or the second, or the third.
Yeah. I mean, he also puts mayo in coffee, so I mean, the man just deserves to not be drafted in the first
Automatic,
picks.
undraftable.
No, yeah, it is crazy though to me to think about those four quarterbacks. I think, to be honest, I think Stroud right now has, I think, put himself a little bit above. I think where not saying Young's not that Stroud's better than Young. I'm just thinking of what he did in his pro day and the fact that he did this all on his own. I think we talked about this last time. To me, put him above the other three quarterbacks. Just the fact that he did this on his own, he orchestrated everything. And even like you look at Richardson, like, yeah, he made some cool throws, but then you look at the tape and it's like, well, that same throw you can't make in a game. So the difference between Stroud and Richardson, or Stroud or Young and Richardson, is the fact that those two guys have proven they can make those throws and not throw it 50 yards beyond the guy.
You want to see if the tape lines up with what you see on you want to see if the workouts line up with what you see on the film.
Yeah.
I think we got that out of CJ. I think we got that out of Bryce, but definitely not out of Anthony. Like, there's a reason he looks much better in a setting where there's no defense. They're basically just performing in their underwear, and you can just flex like all of those athletic abilities.
I mean, he does a backflip, man. It's top 2 pick, obviously. Does a backflip, obviously.
Top 2 pick.
Obviously.
No other quarterbacks can say that on their resumes.
But Josh, we have so many things. Obviously, there's been trades and things have been having free agent signings. The Browns have somewhat helped themselves, but then they go ahead and trade away their. If you guys didn't know, Browns got another wide receiver. Basically, the Browns have like 6 picks, and they're all within like the late 3rd round, all the way to like the 7th round. So
they're in win now mode.
Yeah, we're in win now mode. So I'm interested to see, Josh, what are some of these changes? Again, we want to preface, we will not go through our whole mock draft again. You'll see that on our social media. You'll be able to go through it. And if you have opinions, please let us know and like a DM us or comment. Like, we would love to hear your thoughts and stuff. But we will go through some of our changes and maybe some players that we've moved up in the board because we think they're just going to have a better ceiling because maybe their workout or maybe the team needs. So, Josh, do you want to start? What? Let's just go with our top five, because I think we can go through our top five and say like why this person stayed and why not, and then from there we'll just kind of pick and choose what we've changed.
Yeah. So now we know who made the trade for the first pick. We had a feeling that the Bears were going to do that. It's the Panthers, and at least these first 5 picks that I got here, I still have CJ Stroud going first. I feel like no matter who's trading up to that first pick, it's going to be him. Followed by Bryce Young to the Texans. I got that pick locked in. Will Anderson is still going to the Cardinals at 3rd. They don't need a quarterback, so take the best player available right here, which, I mean, Will Anderson's a dog. The Colts are over here at 4. They were the team that I thought would trade up, and they did not. They have a history of getting, I guess, like these bigger, like pro-style quarterbacks, and I feel like this is like the first real change, I guess, in terms of like players.
Yeah.
So I got Will Levis actually now instead of falling 9 to Carolina. I got him going here for the Colts. I think that they're finally going to pull the trigger on a quarterback. And in this case, I think it might be reaching for Will Levis here. And then 5, I think I had Jalen Carter here the last time we did this, but just with, I guess not that I thought that the whole traffic or I guess reckless driving thing should have knocked his stock, but that paired with the, I guess, unimpressive pro day, I have him slipping a couple spots, not too far, but it's going to mean I think now that the Seahawks might lean towards drafting Tyree Wilson right here at the edge at pick 5. So couple changes right there. My top 3 players off the board are the same, but yeah, 4 and 5 are different here.
Yeah. I didn't know. The thing is, like, I think, and I had Stroud obviously going 1 as well. Previously the Colts, because I think that just would have been, I think, amazing match. But I think, the Panthers have come out and said, well, we haven't really decided yet. But come on, like, have you seen your head coach? When has he drafted a quarterback that's under 6'2" and is not a pocket passer? Right. Like, right. He's that's what he does. And I just think that CJ Stroud in Carolina, with some of those weapons they have now, I think that is just a match made in heaven for CJ Stroud. And I think you put him in that offense and in that division that's really up in the air, right? Like that division, there is no one that's really got that division right now. And you put him in there, I think there's a good chance, man, they can at least compete for that second place spot. Obviously, Carr's in New Orleans now, but again, I think I love that spot for CJ Stroud. I think he has all the tools. I think we both agree he has all the tools to be a Hall of Famer one day. It's just, will he reach that goal and reach where he needs to be? I think that's the biggest thing we got to figure out with CJ. And will he run the ball? Will he be willing to scramble and get out of the pocket? 2 for me is Bryce Young. I think the Texans, he just kind of fits the Texans mold, right? Like just a guy that is like, he's a runner. I think he's more of a runner than he is. I mean, not saying that he can't pass. I mean, he's a great passer in the pocket. He can do what he can. But at 5'10", I just think that he reminds me of maybe more of a, Russell Wilson at Seattle, or one of these guys that's just going to have to kind of prove himself to the league and kind of say like, hey, I am the guy. But again, I think he's the best overall. I think talent wise, when you put all the running piece and the passing piece, everything together, I think he is the most overall talented quarterback. Again, I just think that's a smart move there. I have the Colts trading up here. Originally I had Carolina trading up. Excuse me. No, I still have Carolina trading up. Sorry. It's the same for me. I have them taking Richardson here. I think
Colts
Carolina
are trading up to 3 to get Anthony.
No. Sorry. Carolina's trading up. So my top 3 are the same.
Carolina has the first pick and they're trading up for the 3rd pick.
Sorry, Colts. Sorry. I've wrote it down wrong. Sorry. I have Indianapolis. This is on my old
Colts are moving up one spot here.
Colts are moving up one spot. The Arizona is going to move down 1. I have the Colts taking Anthony Richardson, mainly because I just think they're trying to find that spark. Again, I agree with you on Will Levis. You actually about changed my mind as you're talking about it. I was like, dang it, this is a good point. But Will Levis just seems to I just can't trust him, man. Like I watched the film and it's
Well, I
just
can't either,
hard.
but can you trust Anthony?
But there's more upside. And I think if you're the Colts long
Yeah.
term, which guy do you go with? Now I don't know who do they have a veteran quarterback right now in the room or not?
Um,
Or do they not? Or are they just Sam
gosh,
Ellinger?
dude.
Is it just Sam Ellinger and I don't know who they have. I don't think they have a veteran because they released Matt Ryan. So
There's no Matt. I was just trying to think like who even played quarterback for him last year. It was Matt Ryan, but there's no Matt Ryan anymore.
yeah. So I don't know what they'll do here.
Yeah, I mean the quarterback situation's like really up in the
Yeah.
air right now.
So I get your pick 100%. Like honestly, if I'm like where I'm at with you, like that makes 100%. But yeah, to me it just makes sense for a guy with that upside. Again, not agreeing with it. Again, we want to point out Josh and I don't agree that Anthony Richardson
Yeah,
is the
this
third
isn't
best player
what
in the
we would
draft.
do. This is what
No.
we think will happen.
And I just think that it's too tempting if you're the Colts. You didn't get Stroud and Young's not going to be there. You might as well just go up and risk it for the biscuit and get a guy that you can maybe build around.
By the way, the Colts' current quarterback room right now is Nick Foles, Gardner Minshew, and Sam Ellinger.
Yeah, so I mean, you have a couple veteran guys there that can go for a year, maybe like swap on and off, and then once he's ready to go in. But they're at 4. I have Arizona.
The Cardinals here now.
Yep, I have Arizona staying there at 4. I think they take Will Anderson. They'd be stupid. Like they literally would be stupid to just
At this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have Arizona taking Will Anderson. Again, you lost JJ Watt. You need to fill in that kind of the edge rusher, kind of that guy that can get to the quarterback. And I think Will Anderson is the best in the class. And then at 5, I did not know where to go. I'll be honest with Seattle, because I could see them for some reason taking a quarterback because it's Seattle and they don't make sense half the time. And would you be willing to tick off Geno Smith, right? Like, are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
I don't like Jalen Carter here. His workout, he's overweight, and I'm just like, this guy is not in the right mindset, at least from my eyes. Again, I might be completely wrong. So I was trying to think, what do we do? Does Tyree Wilson go here? Does Lucas Van Ness go here? Does do they surprise and go a different position? And for me, I was very high on Lucas Van Ness. I had him going to Arizona in my first playthrough, and I'm gonna have to go with Lucas Van Ness. I think again, he's not a blow away kind of guy, but again, he played in the Big Ten, which again I give the edge over Tyree Wilson, who he played in the Big 12. I just think Lucas Van Ness, he's very interesting to me because I think he can play probably a little bit inside if he needs to, and outside as well. So again, he's a younger guy, but I'm going to go Lucas Van Ness at 5. So yeah, that's my top 5, Josh. I'm just throwing everything out the wazoo at this point.
All right. Well,
what do you got?
A couple other things changed in my top 10 as well. So the Lions are at pick 6, and instead of going with Christian Gonzalez here, I think they've made some additions to the secondary this offseason, getting guys like Gardner Johnson from the Eagles. So right here, I think this is where Jalen Carter might go. Boost the defensive line and add a piece next to Aiden Hutchinson is what I'm kind of thinking here. Like Jalen Carter, you would have liked to have seen him maybe be a little bit more in shape for that pro day workout, but that's also something that I guess I've heard people pick up for on film. Like the guy gets tired. Like he's really good in flash situations, but he's definitely not in every down defensive tackle.
Look at the Ohio State game. I mean, how often did he play? I mean, he was not in there a lot. He was just because Ohio State just picked up the pace and then he couldn't keep up.
So I think you'd like to count on him to play a little bit more snaps, but I think at least at 6 right here, I've seen him fall to like 20 in some mock drafts. I don't like that.
That's ridiculous.
Like at the end of the day, the talent is too strong. So I think Jalen Carter here to the Lions. I still have Anthony Richardson going to the Raiders. I still think that like screwing up draft picks and reaching is just exactly what the Raiders do. And if Anthony Richardson's still here, they won't be able to resist. Regardless of what the quarterback plan is right now with Jimmy G. Plus, since you do have Jimmy there, you can really, I guess, afford to take Richardson here if you're the Raiders and really like, I guess, embrace the project mentality with him. So that in maybe 3 years, he's finally ready to play. He can play. After that, I got the Falcons here, and I don't really know which edge to go. Lucas Van Ness could be a really solid pick, but I also think Nolan Smith's combine and pro day also just screams like really loud right now here. And I maybe Nolan Smith didn't have the greatest stats in college, but we also not that this has anything to do with like who they might pick here, but they took Drake London last year. The measurables and like the athletic type of player here when guys like Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were on the board. So maybe they take the same approach here at edge and go with a guy like Nolan Smith, who like is a athletic freak over here at 8. The Bears are at 9 now, and I got them going with Paris Johnson Jr. right here, who in my opinion is the best tackle in the game right here.
How big was he, by the way? How big was he?
How big was he? I mean,
you stood next to him. Like, did you feel like, okay, this guy's bigger than I thought he was? Like after watching.
I mean, he looked like a typical left tackle. Like I know a joke's going around, like a moment of silence for Taylor Lewan because he's lost 40 pounds and people are saying he's not going to play anymore. But this is the picture right here of me next to Paris. Oof. I mean, definitely looks like like he looks like a left tackle. So I think he's the best tackle in this draft, and I think the Bears would be foolish to pass him here at 9 and take anything other than help to protect Justin Fields. Rounding out my top 10 here, the Eagles, this is where I got Christian Gonzalez going. Help the secondary out a little bit right here. Maybe they go with like a safety here to replace Gardner Johnson, but I think that getting some secondary help right here would be nice for them.
You know, I'm just making my notes here because I'm seeing what you're doing. And it makes me realize.
Are you making some adjustments?
Well, I made a slight adjustment, but other than that, it's everything.
I mean, this is what I did when we were doing brackets with Joe.
Yes, but see, the difference is mock drafts I can change. We had agreement that we don't change brackets. Josh, which by the way, I love how we skipped over the fact that both of our brackets are just terrible. I love how we just glanced over that fact that it's just terrible at this point. I think mine's like 48%, by the way. That's besides the point. It's very bad. But all no, right. In my top 10,
pick 6.
Yes, pick 6, the Lions. Originally I had Gonzalez, and I think I just realized after I did that, I'm like, yeah, it's just not, they're not gonna do that.
I thought it was kind of high, but it fit the need too good at the time.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Jalen Carter as well. I think if he's at 6, I don't care how his work ethic is. Like the talent is there. You just have to dig in and get it out. And I think Jalen Carter, when he's at his best, he is the most dominant interior lineman in the class and one of the best players in the class in general. And I think you put him with Hutchinson on the outside, dude, imagine them on the same side of the ball. Who you gonna block? Who you decide to block? Do you double team? You can't double team one because you leave the other one one-on-one. So I don't know what's going to happen, but that'd be a very deadly combo. With the Raiders here, I didn't know where to go. They need edge help bad. But I also think you have Garoppolo. Why not get a quarterback that can kind of be that guy? And I think Levis needs a little more polishing. You know, he has all the tools. He needs that polishing. And I think Will Levis here just makes sense. He seems like a Las Vegas guy too. Like he just seems like that guy is just weird. He's kind of off the top, and he kind of fits that Las Vegas kind of thing. So I think Will Levis there just makes sense. And I have with the Falcons, I agree with you. They're going to go edge, but I don't have Tyree Wilson coming off the board yet. And I think this is where he'll come off the board. He doesn't slip past the top 10. If it's not here, it wasn't going to happen. And then, of course, with the Bears, it's still Paris Johnson. Like, again, y'all out there, you don't realize this man is a talent that he's young, by the way. He's only like 21. He's got so many years left in front of him. Paris Johnson to help Justin Fields, that'd be huge for the Bears. And then I'm going to go with, I believe I did this in the first time. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Joey Porter Jr. to the Eagles. I like him. Even with Christian Gonzalez there, I just like Joey Porter Jr. Yeah. The whole Pennsylvania story. Kind of that whole, like, that guy that lives in Pennsylvania is from Pennsylvania. And he's just a freak. Like, if you just look at him, he's just a freak. So I'm going to go Joey Porter Jr. there for finishing out my top 10.
All right. So picks 11 to 15 are unchanged for me. So I'll just go over them again to remind people. Peter Skoronski, OT from Northwestern, going to the Titans. Quentin Johnston, first wide receiver coming off the board, going to the Texans at 12. Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia, going to the Jets. Jackson Smith and Jigba going to the Patriots right here, and Michael Mayer, tight end from Notre Dame, going to pick 15 to the Packers.
Yes, my 11 through 15 have also not changed. I had Peter, Skoronsky. I think that's how you say it. I don't even know. He's going to be the old Taylor Lewin replacement. He's going to be there at tackle. Again, he's another guy that I think both him and Paris could go in the top 10. Like, if you really thought about it, they both could go in the top 10. That's how good they are. I have Smith and Jigba going to the Texans here. You put him with Bryce Young. That's a scary little combo right there. If you can get an outside receiver that's dominant in the Texans way, I mean that's a really good combination. I have I forget his first name. I think you said is it Broderick Jones? No,
Broderick Jones.
Yeah, Broderick Jones. Yep, Broderick Jones to the Jets. They need help up front. They just whoever the quarterback is. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers still has not been traded as we're recording this, so we have no idea what's going on with the
Everybody's
Jets.
acting like it's a sure thing. The Packers, I think,
don't
are just
think
like,
so.
please give us what we deserve for him. And the Jets are
Exactly.
like, yeah, he wants to play for us, man. We're just giving you a sixth.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. And I have Jordan Addison going to the Patriots again. Just one of those guys that just fits that Patriots mold. And then for Green Bay, I have Quentin Johnston. Again, staying with that wide receiver. I just think it would be a funny meme that when Aaron Rodgers leaves, that's when they draft a first-round wide receiver. I just think it'd be hilarious and go totally with what we need. I just think it'd be really funny.
Right. A couple changes here in my 16 to 20. So this is 16. Washington's on the clock, and I got them going with Joey Porter Jr. right here. I've been seeing I guess more people talking about a need for secondary help. I think I had them going O-line right here because I was unsure, but with secondary help and Joey Porter still on the board here for me, I think that's a solid fit. Steelers, I still got taking Darnell right here, tackle from Tennessee. I believe you got to get some protection for Kenny Pickett, your franchise quarterback. The Lions at pick 18 here. I think this is where they hit maybe some secondary help in. Instead of getting Christian Gonzalez at 6, they go ahead and get Will Weatherspoon, the corner from Illinois right here. Dalton Kincaid, tight end from Utah, still going to the Bucs right here, filling the hole left by Gronkowski. And then 20 was Seattle. I had them going Darnell Washington here last time, but I think maybe a better pick for them at this point, even still getting Tyree Wilson at 5, continue to strengthen that defensive line, help, and get Brian Breesy, defensive tackle from Clemson.
So who did you say? I was just looking over my notes. Who did you say that you said is going to Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, Darnell Wright, the tackle from Tennessee.
See, I might have just went the wrong way on this. I don't know. You can tell me if I'm completely
well. There's not honestly, due to a lot of people picking Pittsburgh to take offensive line help here. I've seen some Joey Porter picks right here too, and I just don't think he'll be available by that pick. I mean, I have him going one spot right here, but he could very easily go 10 to Philadelphia, like you were saying too.
So I originally had Ringo going here, but I don't think he. Now that I double think, I don't think he's going to go this early. He just didn't look. Yeah,
talking about now.
Keely Ringo, to Pittsburgh.
Okay, but who do you have going to Washington? The pick before that.
Sorry. Washington, I have Gonzalez going there.
Okay.
So I have Gonzalez going there again. I mean, he's still on my board at 16. You're stupid if you don't pick him. I think that's great help for the Washington. I think that's huge help. At 17, I really, again, like I was saying, I didn't know what they would do. Again, I thought Ringo in the first time around, but with all these corners kind of off the board, I'm going to go Nolan Smith. Again, I had him going really late. I don't even know when did I have him going. I had him going 20.
I've seen some defensive line picks for the Steelers too.
I think if you go Nolan Smith, you line him up outside on the opposite side from Watt. Imagine those two dudes coming at you. That's a scary combination. So I have Nolan Smith going there, and then I'm actually going to agree with you on the Lions here. I know we both had Gonzalez the first time around, and I'm actually going to go with Witherspoon. I had him going at 24 last time. I just think that he is a guy that is very interesting because some people have him rated as like the best corner and up there at in the top 10.
This is a great class of corners. Like every draft has like that position where it's like deep, and sometimes it's been receivers, sometimes it's been quarterback, sometimes it's been O-line. This year, I feel like it's corner just with the guys like Weatherspoon, Gonzalez, Porter, Deontay Banks from Maryland, Keely
Yeah.
Ringo from Georgia. Like there's gonna be a lot of corners, I think, coming off the first round here.
Yeah. And it's an interesting class too because they're all different. I don't think any of them are really similar. They're all kind of different builds, different the way they move. At 19, I believe it's the Buccaneers. I believe yes,
Yep.
19. I have them still going with Meyer. I think you get a tight end down there with the receivers they have. Again, I'm interested to see if Baker Mayfield's the guy. It's just funny for me to say that. But again, it's a weapon. Again, it's Buccaneers are the weird one, right? Because you don't know what they could go offensive line help,
They
but they
really
also
could
could
go
go
any position
anywhere. Yeah,
here.
anywhere. So
I
I think
really
they
don't
go
know.
best kind of guy available, and I think Meyer is the best kind of guy available in this one. And then I believe is it Seattle's next, right?
Seattle at 20. Yep.
Yeah. And so last time I had Nolan Smith, and again I was trying to figure out like where do they go here? I mean, they could go really anywhere. But I see I'm stuck here. Maybe you can help me out with this. So these
Okay.
are the two guys I had. I had these two guys written down. I had Jalen Hyatt written here as a possible kind of surprise pick. A wide receiver help there for Seattle, and another guy to that kind of roster. And then I had the guy from Northwestern that's kind of blown everyone away. I'm going to try to say his name. Adi Tomiwa Adi Barura or Rory. I can't pronounce his name.
Nailed it.
Yep, it's whatever. But he's from
What
Northwestern.
position?
Defensive tackle, kind of that D line kind of guy. But I'm more leaning towards going Hyatt here. I just think adding another guy to Geno Smith's repertoire or kind of that, because again, I think they could trade out of this pick. Like I really think they could trade out of this pick. But again, I don't know where to go here, but I'm gonna go
They
Hyatt.
could.
What do you think?
Receivers, I mean, they got Lockett still, right? They got
Yep.
DK. I believe they drafted D. Eskridge a couple years ago in the second round. So I don't know what I guess their view on him right now. But I mean, if you want to look at it that way, I would even think like tight end maybe. Honestly, if you wanted to add
Yeah.
another weapon, but not like add another
True.
receiver that may not see the field as
Yeah.
much, like take advantage of it. I mean, you could go with Kincaid here. I think he's still on the
Ooh, yeah,
board for you.
that's true. Yeah, he is. I'm
Or
actually.
like I was thinking last time. That's why I had Darnell Washington last time.
Oh, I think actually, what also came to my mind. Uh, what's the guy's name from Pittsburgh? Cansey. Is it Cansey?
I'm
Kaja.
not sure.
It's the guy that's supposed to be Aaron Donald 2.0. That's another guy that came to my mind. But
Maybe that's why they're calling him Aaron Donald 2.0.
I'm
He's from Pitt.
yeah, that's why. I'm actually gonna go Kincaid here. I'm gonna go two tight ends back to back. Am I weird for doing that? Probably. I don't care. So I'm gonna go Kincaid here. Actually, I like that. See, this is why we work together, Josh. See,
Yeah,
we help each other out.
I think that's I like that pick there.
So I have Meyer going 19 and Kincaid going 20. I don't know if that's ever happened in the NFL draft, two tight ends back to back, but we'll go with it. So Josh, from your 21 to 25, are there any changes?
All right. I don't. Well, we got one change. So this is where like a lot of receivers are going off the board for me. So Jalen Hyatt, I still have him at 21 here to the Chargers. I think at the end of the day, the straight line speed and the deep threat is something that the Chargers could use. With Keenan Allen being inconsistent and Mike Williams kind of being like a nice like X kind of receiver over there for them. Hyatt could fill into that role as like that deep threat. And then after that, the Ravens going with Jordan Addison right here. You got to get a weapon, regardless of who's playing quarterback, whether it's Pro Bowler Lamar Jackson, Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley, or someone else. Got to get him someone to throw the ball to. Addison's the dude. Vikings here at 23. I got Keely Ringo. I believe that's the same pick as last time. Just need some help on that defense if you're Minnesota, regardless of what the position is, because offense wasn't the reason they were losing games last year. Jags right here at 24. I think this is the first on or changed pick in this like group of five right here. So I've been seeing a lot of hype around Deontay Banks. I know he had a really good combine.
Yeah, he did.
He runs really well from Maryland. So he went up against some of the top receivers in the country. So he's been tested. Got him going to the Jags right here at 24. And then 25, the Giants sticking with my pick for Zay Flowers right here, wide receiver who was able to improve his stock over, I guess, like the whole draft process. I know that the Giants don't have a ton of big name room or a ton of big names in that room, and after they paid Daniel Jones, they really need a guy that he can connect with and maybe be that dude in a year or two. So Flowers for me at 25.
Yeah, Flowers is an interesting one, right? Like Flowers is one of those guys that like
Yeah.
I
I
feel
didn't
like
hear
he
him a
could be.
lot during the regular season, but then once the draft started approaching, it's like interesting.
Yeah, like don't you feel like Flowers could be kind of like that guy that surprises everyone and goes like higher than some of these other guys? Just he's that guy this year. He could be. I don't know. We'll see. But for me, just a reminder, guys, for pick 21, the original pick 21. Remember that was vacated
Oh,
by the
yes.
Dolphins.
Vacated by the
Just
Dolphins. Yep.
just so everyone remembers. I put that on our little graphic so everyone knew that. Originally, I had Miles Murphy going here to the Chargers. He was, I think where's he from? Yeah, Clemson, right? Yeah, Clemson. I think that's where he's from.
Who?
Miles Murphy. He's from Clemson, right? Yeah.
I think.
Yes. Anyways, so I had him there, but actually, I'm going to go defensive line, but I'm going to go interior guy. I'm going to go with Kalijah Kancey or Kancey. I don't know how you pronounce that. He's the defense tackle from Pittsburgh. He had very almost creepily same numbers as Aaron Donald. And whenever you have close to the same numbers of Aaron Donald, I'm going to choose you because you're good. So I'm going to go Kalijah Kancey to the Chargers. I'm going to keep Hyatt to the Ravens. Like if I agree with you, if you're going to try, even if Lamar's not there, you need weapons because you have no weapons on the outside at whatsoever. And I think Jalen Hyatt fits here. Originally, I had Will Witherspoon going here to the Ravens. Ravens, no, sorry, the Vikings. I actually have Ringo going here, so I have Keely Ringo. Again, another good corner. Again, I had him going earlier last time. Again, I just don't. I kind of rethought about it, I guess, and went a different way. And then the Jaguars at 25, I'm sticking with DeJuan Jones. Like I think DeJuan Jones down there in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, like you get a big old 6'8", 365, 370-pound dude. By the way, there was a guy that or I saw this photo of someone that I mutual friend with, like stood next to him like at Walmart or something like that. And that guy's like 6'2", and he just looked like a tiny human. It's
Did you
mind
hear the
boggling.
word? Did you hear the word on the street about DeJuan Jones' weight?
No.
So I guess he didn't weigh in again at pro day
Oh
after the
boy.
combine. And the thought is he's let himself go since the combine and weighs over 400 pounds right now. Or at least he looks like it, per a GM that attended.
Yeah, but dude, what do you expect from a dude that size? Like the man is like he's trying his best here. Okay, people. You know what? If you were 6'8", 390 pounds, and almost going to the first round of the NFL draft, I think you'd be fine too. Okay, no one's judging.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think DeJuan Jones, he's going to go in this first round. I just don't know where. Like he could go up in the teens. He could go all the way down to like 32. Like I don't know where DeJuan Jones is going to go, but I just personally think he's going to go here to the Jaguars.
All right, man. And then
Any
did you
changes?
say
What?
your Giants pick?
Oh, well, see, I counted that as my 26 through 30 because I kept it. That's fine, whatever. Okay, my Giants pick, I'm going to keep the same. As much as I'm with you on Zay Flowers, I'm going to stay with Josh Downs here. Again, I think Josh Downs just fits. Again, he's not I guess not impressing me. But Zay Flowers, by the way, is in my first round. He's just not right here. So I'm going to go Josh Downs. I'm going to stick with it. Ben, stop changing things.
All right.
Stick with it.
Well, I'll just go ahead and roll off pick 26 to 31 here since it's only 6 for the rest of the first round. So these first few are unchanged. I got Drew Sanders, the linebacker, I believe, from Arkansas, going to Dallas right here. I feel like Dallas could go a lot of different ways, but they definitely need help at linebacker right now. I think they got some pretty solid pieces over there, but they could use a dog at linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills, I still have going with Bijan Robinson right here. I feel like he's definitely got the talent to go sooner, but we also see running backs not, I guess, be as valued as much as they used to. Plus, it's like the Bills don't have an every down running back, but they also kind of like going by committee. So I could see it either way, but I got to throw Bijan Robinson somewhere. And since the Bills don't have like a true number one running back, I think maybe they could go with him right here.
Yep.
Bengals, I still got going with DeJuan Jones. You need a tackle. They just went out and got Orlando Brown, so put DeJuan Jones opposite him. Maybe the offensive line's a little bit better next year. The Saints got them sticking with defensive tackle Mozzie Smith from Michigan right here, filling in that hole in the interior D line. Brian Branch, safety from Alabama. I got going to the Eagles here at 30 now. I can't remember who I had beforehand. But filling that.
Which one? At Eagles, you had Nolan Smith to the Eagles.
Okay, yeah, since I had him going much sooner this time around, yeah, this time I got Brian Branch. So they're filling in holes in the secondary with Christian Gonzalez and Brian Branch double teaming. We'll see if I feel the same way in next mock, but at least Branch is filling in the hole by Gardner Johnson. And then concluding the first round, pick 31, I got the Chiefs going Luke Van Ness. I've seen him go as high as I've seen him go as high as pick 10. I've seen him go in the late 20s. I really don't know how the league sees him, but it's kind of like the same with George Karlaftis the year before. I seen him predicted as high as 8 out of Purdue, but maybe the hype around some of these Big Ten edges I guess is more from the fans than the GMs. Maybe Luke Van Ness could be the same. We'll see, but they definitely need to fill in a hole by Frank Clark right there. So Luke Van Ness here concluded in the first round for me.
Isn't it funny how I have him going at 5 and you have him at 32? I mean, mine's probably, it's so wrong. I mean, if I'm right on,
I don't know. Like I tried, dude, to figure out where Luke Van Ness could go, and I mean, if I decide to stick with Jalen Carter, at 5, then I could have had Van Ness going 20 to Seattle there. But yeah. We'll see if what happens.
I mean, he's basically like Trey Barnes. The Enigma is what we call Trey Barnes. We couldn't figure it out. We couldn't figure him out. So, no, my 20. So I guess technically the real picks 27 through 32. Not much has changed. So I'm the same at 27. Pick 27, the original pick. I guess for you it's 26, but whatever. 27, the original pick. Osiris Torrance, the guard. Again, I think that Dallas is going to need any help. I think they need help on both sides of the ball, to be honest with you, especially on the line. So I'm gonna go there. I'm going to keep Darnell Wright to the Buffalo Bills. I think you have to keep Jared. Jared Allen. Wow, you have to keep Allen. You have to keep him healthy, right? Like I know he's a big guy, but you can't be taking hits, and we've seen it with so many quarterbacks in the past. What made Peyton Manning and what made Tom Brady so good? They took not many hits, right? They had a good offense line. They knew how to use their bodies well. At 29, I still have Darnell Washington going to the Bengals. I think it's an awesome story. Imagine him with Joe Burrow. Oh my word. Just imagine those receivers with Joe Burrow. And then you had Darnell Washington in the mix too. That's a scary.
Very on brand for the Bengals to not address the offensive line and just get another weapon too.
Well, that's part of it. It's a dig at Jared. No, but then this is where 30 through 32, I really screwed up last time. We won't talk about that. We're going to move past that, okay? We're not going to mention those terrible picks that I had last time.
Okay, 30, I don't remember them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. 30 this time, I have Myles Murphy going to the Saints. I think it's a great fit. I had him going earlier last time. I had him at 22, I believe, last time. Yeah, to the Chargers. I think Myles Murphy fits the kind of this Saints need to reinvent their defensive line a little bit. I think this is a great way to do that. At 31 to the Eagles, I have Bijan Robinson. I think this is a great fit. If you put Bijan Robinson in that backfield, that is a great fit with Jalen Hurts. You have a good back. It kind of reminds me of the Najee Harris pick by the Steelers, where they got a guy that is ready to be there right away. And you saw what he did in his first year and then what he's doing now. And I think Bijan Robinson is the same guy. You obviously lost your running back, but I think Bijan Robinson can give you, if not the same, a little bit more. So there. And then I have your man, Zay Flowers, going to the Chiefs. Again, they have so many things I think they could add on to. Defensive end is one of them. But I think adding another weapon to they've lost a couple weapons, add another weapon. I believe you did that early, though, right? No, you didn't do that. No, they didn't. Now? You didn't have them trading up or anything, right? You had the Chiefs. Okay.
I did not predict any trades this time around.
I only picked it a couple. So, but Zay Flowers, I have going 32 to the Chiefs. Any surprises of mine? And then I'll say if there's any surprises of yours.
I guess just you already mentioned where we both have Luke Van Ness. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, I guess I would be shocked if the Chiefs did add another weapon there, just because they already seem to like have all their guys, which none of them are
Yeah.
really superstars other than Kelsey.
Yeah.
Um, I love Bijan to Philly right there, filling in the hole up on Miles Sanders. They also seem to like going running back by committee over there, but
Yeah.
maybe same situation, kind of like the Bills have for me, I guess. But I liked what was something else that I thought was like interesting. Um, who did you have the Chargers grabbing again?
College Consi, the guy that's basically Aaron Donald 2.0,
That's
basically.
right. Yeah.
He's an interesting one because you don't know. I think you've seen what he can do and what his numbers are. It just will be interesting. Like, I don't know if he'll go the first round, but this is more of like my shoot for the stars pick, and it's
Yeah.
just what I think might happen.
I guess finally too, Josh Downs. I haven't heard a lot of talk about him in the first round, but he played a similar role at North Carolina, like Jackson Smith and Jigba did at Ohio
Yeah,
State. Really solid slot guy. You can rely on him to be open and run good routes. So we'll see if it's enough to get him in round one, I
I
guess.
I guess for me, I thought it was interesting. You have less linemen than I do, I think, going, or at least maybe like I have more going later than you do. Because I think you have,
Yeah,
yeah, you have like two going at the top, and then you have like maybe what, one or two more, maybe. I think you have one or two more. I don't know.
yeah. Like once you get past Jalen Carter and I guess Nolan Smith, or I guess Scorns. Well, let's see. Broderick Jones at 13, Darnell Wright. They're kind of like all scattered out.
Yeah, I guess for me, I'm more of I
The
kind of put him
biggest
at the
gap, the
end. Yeah,
biggest gap is Darnell Wright at 17, and then I don't have like another offensive or defensive lineman until Dwayne Jones at 28.
yeah. I think it's gonna be an interesting class with that this year. I also thought, I mean, I really liked what you said with um, where you said Bajan to the
The
Buffalo
Bills.
Bills, which I think was I didn't think of that because I was trying to think of protecting Allen because it's literally your moneymaker.
That could be another
But
thing too, because I know he took a lot of hits
yeah,
last year, and that was something that really came out in the playoffs.
yeah. So Bijan Robinson though would make a lot of sense there. I just think it's always funny how we view the quarterbacks a little bit different after Stroud and Young. Like you're thinking Richardson won't get picked right away, and I'm like, no, they're trading up for him. Like, and I think that's just fascinating between us.
Yeah, that's another reason. I know some mock still are saying Richardson first, but I don't think Carolina goes out and
No,
makes signings for guys like Miles Sanders and
there's
Adam
no way.
Thielen and Hayden
No way.
Hurst. Like it looks like they're trying to like prepare for a quarterback to play right
Yeah,
now, and I don't think they're going to take a project first overall and trade up to that pick to get a guy like AR. I don't
yeah.
think they're doing that.
That's very true. And so, with that, let us know in the comments below what you think. Do you think that we made some great picks, or do you think that they need to be reshuffled? Probably reshuffled. Let's be honest. Last time we did this, literally the next day as we recorded, I text Josh and go, "Did you see the trade?" Because literally it just messed up our whole mock draft. So, hey, you know what? We never know what happens. It's the NFL. It's not for long. So is our mock drafts, not for long. So that's gonna be interesting. But you know what is for long is baseball season. And that's what we're
Baseball
about to move
season,
into.
162
So
games.
we're going to finish the show up today by talking about the baseball season and touch a little bit on the Final Four and our thoughts. But let's quickly give our thoughts on the opening day and everything going on with that. I do want to first come out because it's that time of year again. The Reds suck. I've said it, and we now can remember that will be now said numerous times throughout the summer. They literally put a lineup out there. I knew about four guys. I knew four guys on the lineup. So, anyways, that is my Reds rant for the day. Someone was hyping up that fact that Hunter Green threw 105. I'm like, yeah, well, if you don't win, it doesn't really matter. So, anyways, Josh, continue with what you want to do before I lose my mind.
Sure. Yeah, I watched, I guess, my first game, MLB game with the pitch clock too.
How'd
I
you
stayed
feel?
up. Yeah, I'm
I hate it.
gonna. I don't really like it
I
either.
hate it.
I know why they're doing it. I think I've explained that, but I'm not. I'm not a fan of the move. James Karinchak definitely isn't a fan of it either. With how he does his wind up out of the bullpen, he actually had one of the, I guess, delay balls called
Yeah.
added to one of his pitch counts. But he likes to, I guess, like do that like jab step thing
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
like some pitchers are like, am I gonna start my wind up now? Am I gonna start my wind up now? And I mean, he does that so much, and then eventually it's like, dude, there's 3 seconds on the clock. Get the ball to the plate.
Yeah.
But It looked like, I mean, even going through a full spring, he's going to have some adjustment. But the game, I think, only lasted about 2.5 hours. It started at 10 o'clock and wrapped
Hate
up
it.
around 12:30.
Hate it.
There wasn't a lot of offense in this one. Surprise, surprise, Cleveland at Seattle.
Jeez.
Pitchers were Bieber and Luis Gonzalez, though. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was a really solid I guess battle right there. But yeah, I guess you could see, I guess the changes that the pitch clock is making. And like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not really a fan of it at the moment. We'll see if that changes as the season goes on, if the guys adjust, but it's definitely going to change the way that the game is played. I think even just on opening day from last year, this year, we've already seen so many more stolen bases, so many more runs scored. But that's kind of like, I guess, my thoughts on
Yeah.
that. I guess some of the other big headlines were Adley Rauschman from the
Unreal,
Orioles
dude.
being one of the first
Unreal. I
catchers hitting
shared
a
that.
opening day
It's
home
unreal.
run. Yeah, nice shot there. Aaron Judge starting the season right where he left off last season with
Otani.
another tank. Otani with I think the 10 strikeouts right on the mound,
The no
six
look
innings,
catch in the right field by Renfro. That was unreal.
right. Justin Verlander already injured. Jacob DeGrom getting tagged in
Shelled.
Texas in his debut. Yeah, not so good.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, we didn't really give like any kind of predictions to start the baseball season,
Oh, we
but
didn't.
I'm
Yeah, that's
kind of
true.
yeah. So I
We'll do
know
that. We'll do that.
since the season's already started, it's not really like fair like preseason predictions, but I want the record to be shown that on Twitter I said I got the Phillies winning it all this year. So that's the only thing I guess I can really give
On
anybody.
record, I will say the Reds will finish with the worst record in baseball. They
Oh,
will lose
I'll
100
hop on
games.
board with that too. You won't even get me to be like, I bet it'll be somebody else because I know the
It
Reds are
will be.
shooting for that. They want
Jeez.
it, bro.
Yeah. So my thoughts. Okay, here's my thoughts. The pitch clock is stupid. All right, this is why. It's not, I get what they're doing. Like you said, right? This is not basketball. This is not football. Like this game was made to be a longer game. This game was made to allow, like, pitchers have learned their whole life how to pitch the way they do, and now you're telling them, hey, you have to change up everything you've done because we want to make more money and we want more people to be here. Like, to be honest, I think baseball, they need to do other things to get people to the game, not like stop selling tickets for freaking $150 for just people to go watch a game, right? Stop
Or
making
having
it.
the MLB TV app
Yeah,
and then not being able
exactly.
to watch your team ever.
Exactly. Like I get what they're doing with the pitch clock, but like, even Scherzer's found ways to like get around it. Like he basically, I think it was, he made the
He
guy.
waited until they stepped into
Yeah.
the box and then
And
threw it
then, well,
immediately.
no, yeah, but what he did was, if you just saw before the pitch before, he made the guy do his only timeout. And so then as soon as he got in the box, and then he pitched
So
it.
he knew he had him, yeah.
Yeah, so
And
he's found a way.
I think the base runners are doing that too. Once they get the one pick off that the pitchers are allowed, they know they can get a bigger lead
Oh, I
off.
forgot about that. They only have allowed one pickoff. I forgot about that. They're only allowed one pickoff. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. No, this is the thing. Like, yeah, you're gonna see more stolen bases. Awesome, right? But dude, I'm telling you, man, it's hard to see, like, and I was seeing fans like tweet it and stuff and like put it on Instagram and stuff. Like, so many fans are upset because like they want to see a baseball game, and by the time they're an hour in, it's already halfway over. And like, for a lot of baseball fans, like, your experience for a baseball game is being at the park for 3-4 hours, eating like chili dogs and like doing these things that everyone loves, and now you're taking that away, or you're making it shorter, which is really hard, I think, on a lot of people wanting to watch baseball.
It's the conversation we had around college football, right? Like nobody was like, give me less college football game
No,
time.
exactly. Like, all people want, Josh, is that for people to be able to watch their team. That's only anything everyone wanted. That's the only thing
Yeah,
people wanted.
I think the way that you make it or fans, I guess, excited to watch baseball is let them watch baseball, right?
Yeah. And let's be honest, baseball will always be America's pastime, no matter how big the other sports get. It's always going to be that sport. And you even saw with the World Baseball Classic. We've talked about it before. We talked about it a
The
few weeks
world
ago.
loves
The
baseball.
world loves baseball, and the world shows up, right? And I will say, I want to talk about a couple of performances. We talked about Rutschman. Also, I don't know if you saw the Otani thing today, but he has memorized his pitch thing in his sleeve, so he never looks. He just knows where the buttons are to what pitch is going to come. I just think it's fascinating of just his brain. Um,
Yeah,
I think a few other things that stood out to me was Garrett Cole looked dominant. He looked like Garrett Cole
right.
of old.
Locked
Um,
in.
your former guy for the Guardians, Kluber, looked like a shell of himself. I mean, he just looked like someone that had woke up and then realized that he's not the same anymore.
Dude, the 2016
Um,
World Series was 7 years ago.
that is true. And 7 years of heartbreak. And as a Reds fan, it's been like 35. No, but honestly, I look at the Major League Baseball. It's exciting to see a lot of young guys. It's sad to see like Miggy's last year. It's sad to see, Wainwright's probably his last year. Some of these legends are going to be the end of their careers. But it's exciting to see, some of these young guys come up. We saw Volpe from the Yankees. I will be honest with you. I hate the patch, the I'm making my debut patch. I think it's just weird. It's just like, okay, we know he's making his debut. Like everyone knows that. We don't need like extra, I don't know. That's just me. I just think it's weird.
Yeah. I
It's
was
like
indifferent.
labeling,
I just thought, oh, interesting. Like no one in like other sports has like a R on their jersey, right? For
Yeah,
rookie or
exactly.
anything like that.
It's just weird. It's just a little weird.
Yeah.
But
So does the patch go away now? Was it just a
yeah,
day
I
one
think it's
thing?
like it's only on the day, which what basically it is a way of them keeping that jersey in Cooperstown and like, hey, if this guy has a good career, like here's the jersey
Yeah.
type thing.
And they'll probably do that even later in the season too. If a
Or
guy makes his debut
or
in
they'll
June.
make like Topps will make a card where they get like part of their like opening day patch on the card, which would be actually really cool to be honest with you. That would be worth it.
Imagine if you had like a Ken Griffey Jr. caliber debut guy.
Oh, I know.
Like with that patch,
sweet.
yeah, that'd go for so
But
much
yeah,
money.
and I think baseball, to be honest with you, I think one of my I guess I will give my World Series prediction since you did yours. I'll give mine. I know it'll be a few games in, but it's literally early. It's who cares.
Early enough, yeah.
I'm actually gonna say the Padres. I'm gonna come out and say the Padres are gonna come through and they're gonna do it. And they're gonna spend all that money.
Who knows what the Padres are doing if they didn't have that near the end of the season collapse after they traded for Josh Bell and Juan Soto. They were one of the best teams when they made that trade.
Josh Bell's with your Guardians now, right?
Yeah, nothing really exciting to report. He wasn't playing first base either. They had Naylor there, and they were making a lot of chatter. The commentators were about how there were 5 defending Gold Glove winners on the Cleveland defense that night, and Naylor honestly looked like he had the best glove of them all. So maybe now that he has like a healthy foot, keeping him at first base is the move. I thought they might throw Bell at first, but he was they had Naylor over there at first, and he was playing a heck of a game defensively.
And that's
no one was playing a heck of a game offensively, though. We got shut out, and
I will say
pretty typical for not only playing at Seattle but also for Cleveland in April and May.
Yeah. So this is my thing, Josh. I'm okay. Okay, if we want to do the pitch clock, fine. But I swear, Josh, if they decide to break the 162 game season to like 80 or 90, I'm literally gonna lose my mind. I will literally lose my mind. Like at that point, it's not baseball anymore. Like frick, it's at that point, it's like it's just, hey, we're showing up for AAU baseball. Like I don't know. That's just my opinion. Baseball's from April to September, October-ish. That's baseball. Don't be shrinking it to like from May to like end of August. But
or would they have that season just as long from April to October, but just have more rest days?
But who cares? They've done.
Would they get rid of? Yeah, like would they get rid of the series? Would they get rid of the 3 and 4 game series format and just play like 2 games a week like the NBA does?
But who cares? You've done this for 100 years. The guys have more doctors. They have more things they ever had before. Dude, if you ever look at the history, so look at the historical top 10 seasonal records for innings pitched. It's like 600. It's something ridiculous. It's like they've had guys like back in 50 complete games. It's like
Nolan Ryan would throw 190 pitches in the game and then 3 days later throw 190 more.
And they played for 20 years. So I don't want to hear it. Like we need to stop this right now.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
It's nuts. But Josh, to finish up the show, we're switching from baseball. We're hitting a home run. We're walking across. We're going to a court. It's called the Final Four. Now, I know when this is coming out, the games will be playing at that time. So let's just give our thoughts on the Final Four. And the main thought I want to talk about, Josh, is this Final Four worth the watch? Is this worth watching this year for the Final Four? And give your thoughts on who you think is going to win it all. And we could be completely wrong by Saturday. Who knows? Give us your thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, that's been the topic of discussion, right? People are talking about if a conference tournament champion should be in, if they should favor maybe some of these bigger teams that go 17 and 13, just because like nobody's going to watch San Diego State and FAU. But I would think the diehard college basketball fans are going to love that matchup. This is what they wanted. The only people I
Absolutely,
think,
absolutely.
well, the most pissed people are the TV guys because they're like, man, now we got a nationally televised San Diego State and FAU in a Final Four. Like this isn't going to draw any kind of crowd
That's what
whatsoever in
makes
the
sports
regular
great.
season. Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, this is what everybody like says they want, and then when it happens, it's like wham, wham, wham. But honestly, me, dude, I may not be watching that game just because I'm not a big enough college basketball fan. I don't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
care too much about the programs, but I think both of their runs are interesting. The way that San Diego State's played so physical,
How we
very
both thought they
strong
weren't going to make it
defense.
very far.
I had them winning one game, I think. I think you had them out in
Same.
round one.
Oh, I did
Yeah.
have it on round one. Yes, I did.
You did. That was one of your upset picks. But San Diego
I'm
State's
sorry.
just played such with such physicality, getting teams like Bama fits. I think they only shot 11% from three in that game when they played. FAU, I thought that it would be Memphis
I called
coming
it.
out of that side and upsetting Purdue,
Ha-
but Purdue didn't even get to make that game to get upset, and neither did Memphis.
I did say
So
though, I did tell you that FAU would be the sneak pick. I said
you
that's going to
did.
be a
I
pick
think
because
you
that
and
would
Joe
be that.
both you and Joe both were like, watch out for FAU, and I'm like, Memphis is taking care of them and Purdue and Tennessee. But well, not Tennessee when we talked, but I changed it to be in Tennessee later. But besides the point, yeah, FAU's had a nice run. They've been playing really fast. They've been
Really good.
shooting lights out. And I think that's going to be clashing styles when it comes to San Diego State. Who's going to be able to control the pace of the game? Is FAU going to be able to win in multiple ways if San Diego State locks them down? Is San Diego State
Yeah.
going to be able to keep up with the speed that FAU plays at? But moving over to the other side of the bracket, we got UConn, who's just been obliterating
Unreal.
every single opponent in
And
its
by the way,
path.
hats off to Joe because when we had him on, he did say, and I quote, he did say the analytics love these guys,
Yes,
and
analytics
it
love
happened,
UConn.
and it
Yes,
happened. So
uh,
Joe, you're the man.
beating the brakes off of everybody that comes into their path. And then you got Miami, who I think has had some
Who
scares.
you liked a
I
lot.
did like Miami. I had them going to the Elite Eight, but they ended up beating Texas, coming back in that game. I think they were down over double
Laranega,
digits.
Laranega, when he went to George Mason in the Final Four, came back from 13 in the Elite Eight, and he did it again. Came back from 13 with Miami for the Elite Eight to win
Crazy.
it, which is
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, so I mean, they had their scares in the first round. They almost lost that 12 seed, whose name escapes me. Maybe it was Drake, but
Could have been
Texas
you.
was also, I think it might have been Drake, but Texas was also, I mean, Texas looked in command in that game until about halfway through the second half. So Miami, I mean, it hasn't been as smooth sailing. So
Mm.
I do think though UConn has set the precedent that you can't fall behind by more than double digits against them because they're just going to
Yeah.
extend. So I think in that game, obviously, what to watch out for is can Miami keep it close?
Yeah.
And if they do keep it close, can they put themselves in a position late in the game to maybe make a run and steal one from UConn?
Yeah, man. My thoughts on this is that I am so excited for FAU San Diego State, mainly to just shut up all these people from a college football talk to whatever that like they think money's going to win everything and these NIL deals. Look at FAU. Do you think those guys have many NIL deals? No. Do you think San Diego State has many NIL deals? Probably not. Right? But what they have, great coaches. And I don't mean big name coaches. Coaches that care about their players, coaches that want to be there, coaches that want to sacrifice to be there. And I believe FAU, like I said from the beginning, I didn't pick them to go far, but I believe that they could. And they're here, they're doing this now. Again, I love the way San Diego State's playing. They're a tough team. They're playing great defensively. I think there's going to be a very big challenge for a very good offensive FAU team versus a very good defense in San Diego State. You look at the other side of bracket. I think UConn, and they are scary when they're they're going all cylinders. They are a scary team. Miami, I have my doubts. They have not been consistent. The other three teams have been consistent. Miami's been kind of up and down. So for me, I mean, I really think UConn's going to win that game, and I believe FAU is going to win against San Diego State. And to be honest, screw it. My pick for national champion is FAU. Yeah, I'm going to say it now because I want this so bad. I want this so bad that we have to say for the next 365 days, your national champion from 2022, 2023 was Florida Atlantic University. Like I just
Man,
want that to be said, to just rub it into all these NIL people's faces, thinking that you have to have that to win games. You don't. And what's happening is that the recruiting is coming closer and closer because guys might not get what they want, so they transfer out, and you're getting this so close teams wise, talent wise, man, FAU, man, I'm screw it. I'm going with it. FAU winning it all on Monday night. They're winning it all.
Man, I don't think that FAU is going to be able to match the physicality that San Diego State brings. So I'm going with San Diego State out of there. And I'm going with UConn out of the other side just because, like you said, Miami.
They're just too inconsistent, man.
I wouldn't say they got here by accident, but I think that
they got blessed.
They're definitely not going to be able to make the same mistakes that they did against UConn. And I'm going to roll with the analytics, as Joe said, and roll with UConn to win it all.
I'm telling you, I was wrong about FAU once. I decided not to pick them. I'm not doing it twice. I'm just saying.
Well, I hope that FAU is the winner because it would be wild to say a 9 seed.
Oh, I will buy. I'm buying an FAU shirt.
You're buying the FAU shirt if they win. All right.
I just wanted to have it like wearing it in podcast episodes and stuff. But no, yeah. I think it's very interesting, Josh. I think again to answer your question. To answer the question I asked, and I'm going to say it. Watch the Final Four. Like this is what we've wanted, people. No matter what fan you are of what college sport, like this is what we've always wanted. We want something that's unique. We want something that's different. We want something that's like the George Mason from years ago, or the Butler, or the Loyola Chicago. Like, right? We want these kind of teams, right? And I think that is what's making it is worth to watch it. It's basketball. It's sports. This is the best time of year. You have MLB starting. You have NFL draft coming up. You have college basketball, the finals of the college basketball. You have college baseball. You have all these different sports happening. It is so worth it. I'm excited. Josh, do you have any last words for the people of the Baseline Podcast? Or any question you want them to answer in the comments below or in our DMs? Draft-oriented, basketball-oriented, baseball.
Yeah, give us a college basketball championship pick, I'd say.
Ooh, I like that.
Like Ben said, once this comes out, the national championship will probably be laid out. You can make fun of any of our picks if the winner ended up losing on Saturday, but go ahead and tell us who you think's going to win.
And I think I'll top that as well. I'm going to ask you, do you think the pitch clock is good for baseball and the future of baseball? We would love to hear your comments. Maybe we can get maybe my dad to come on because I know how much he probably hates the thing, and just have my father on just to have a great time would just be great as well. So again, also before we finish up, be in the comments, or please DM us if you have ideas for guests or people you think would be good to come on. Let us know. That's Josh's forte. That's not my forte. I'm terrible at it. Josh just has the right words. He puts a couple $100 bills in the old wallet. I'm just kidding. If we don't bribe people, what? No, but we do really appreciate everyone that's been listening. How you guys have tuned in. Our numbers on YouTube, every time I see an episode, the views go up or the comments go up. So it's really awesome to see. Again, keep that up. So if you have watched it on YouTube or you're watching this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let us know that you love what you're doing, love what we're doing, and enjoy the content. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you guys favorite it. Let us know, and then as well share this on Facebook, Instagram. Just make sure it's shared. It lets more people see it, what we're doing, and hopefully we can get Josh to grow out the beard. I don't know, maybe
still going. Once April rolls around, I think that's 3 months strong.
This is literally like I shaved it and now it's growing back in like a couple of weeks. So, that's just the way it is. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Check out some baseball. Go outside. Enjoy the nice weather. Until next time, we'll see ya.